Hello everyone, welcome back to another broadcast of the Drone Wars. This week we have some interesting developments and only one major battle going on. We're going to go ahead and jump onto the map and see what's going on this week. Alright, so there's some interesting things going on here. So we'll go through the map and see what each faction is up to. Over here you can see that Delta Shipyards is doing some more expansions and stuff. They're mainly just moving around here. There is a major battle going on here between Delta Shipyards and BHI. And over here you can see there's a bit of a goose chase going on here. It seems like the Martian Confederacy is trying to catch up to this rogue fleet here, and of course BHI is leading them on, taking them in circles. So that's an interesting development here. You can see there's kind of some pushes going back and forth around here. Things are definitely getting interesting. Over here, this area is being jumped to. You can see that this fleet from Rogue Shipwrights is using the jump gate to travel over here where there doesn't seem to be anyone. Over here, it seems like the Stellar Armada is currently running away from these rogue fleets over here, so that's an interesting development. They're also trying to do some more expansion here to take the rest of their quadrant. Over here, we can see that the Pirate Empire is taking over the rest of the Kiwis here slowly but surely, and they're also making a major push into UNE territory. UNE is definitely being pushed back, so they're trying to do some more expansion and get some more territory under their wing, as well as making a new fleet here, so that's an interesting development. Down here, we could see that the Northern Stars here has decided to push downwards here while doing some upgrades. So this is going to be an interesting development as Colton Shipyards is going to have to face that at some point. It seems like they're mainly moving their forces away, trying to buy some time here. You can see that RWY is currently doing some expansions, trying to gain some more territory. Of course, there's some more upgrades going on over here from the Martian Confederation. Seems like Rogue Shipwrights is mainly just moving their stuff around, not too much going on over here. This faction here hasn't really done anything. The New Galactic Alliance, it seems like they're continuing to do some more expansion here, taking some more territory, and just doing some basic movements around the place. There doesn't seem to be all too much going on there. The Federation here seems to be doing upgrades, which is pretty important, while also retreating a little bit. It also appears that Johnfield is also taking the approach of doing some upgrades, and of course moving their fleet, which is interesting, as they've moved their fleet to try dodging these two fleets are moving in. Now, GDF here, they're definitely going on the offensive. They're moving one fleet up to try to take on this fleet, and they're moving the other two fleets in to try to capture this fleet, which is now moving out of the way. So there's a lot of interesting developments. We'll go ahead and take a look at this battle between Delta and the Black Hole Industries, and we'll go ahead and see who wins that battle. That is all for this week. Thank you for watching.